Every bowl game you're part of, it's the transition from the guys leaving how we usually work in the locker room and our own practice fields and coming down and transitioning. But really, this is the second week we've been doing our game plan. So it's just a lot of touching some things up and just keeping the guys focused.
How do you game plan when you don't know exactly maybe what they're going to do? You know their personnel very well, but you kind of don't know what they're going to do. How have you kind of game planned?
I think that kind of happens every week. There's a lot of base principles that are going to be involved in every defense, or every offense. And they're not going to abandon that. There's Coach Mullen was there for a lot of years, and the investment of what those guys have done this year. They had a great season, and I'm sure they'll continue to do a lot of things that got them to where they achieved.
For you, what do you have to? Did you go back to some basics? Did you, when you were at home, do you kind of give the guys a little time off? How because it was such a rough season for you guys as far as physically.
Yeah, we had some ups and downs, but that's the health of college football. Everyone has those. Sometimes it's early in the season, sometimes it's late, but ultimately those are going to happen, and it's how you get through them, and if you can battle back. And thankfully we finished real well. We got healthy at the end of the year, and the play was the kids played well.
Where did you think you guys improved the most, aside from obviously getting healthier?
We rushed the quarterback well. The last quarter of the season. I think we played the ball better in the air. So those two things, rushing the quarterback. Rushing the quarterback fixes a lot of things. When you get quarterback hits and the sack numbers increase.
You guys been on a division.
Johnny's been a physical player all year for us. He's been playing the interior nose and tackle positions, and I think he's had real good bowl prep practices, and we expect him to go out there and be productive on Saturday.
You guys had a battle in his career here, just injuries and everything like that. Have you seen kind of his growth?
Well, since it's been a year, I can't talk about where he came from in terms of some of those things, but all these guys that have been here for 4 or 5 years, anybody that's played college football has some ups and downs, and to get a college degree and to be able to finish, there's been a lot of growth and some overcoming some challenges.
A chance to look back at maybe the full year that your first year here as a whole, maybe that some reflection that you didn't get a chance to do in the week-to-week grind.
No, not really. We're waiting for the final product. We'll have time in January and February to do that, but right now it's just on to the next game and getting prepared to win.
So this game, in terms of a final product, as you say, what's at stake this on Saturday?
I think it's the same way we started the year is how we're going to finish it. And we want to continue playing well and finish on a note where we've gone out there and we've done the things we've asked them to do. We execute, we tackle well, and we create turnovers.
Peter, Bobby talked last week about momentum. How big is it to kind of continue to take that into? You've got great momentum now to take it into the off season.
Sports is about momentum. From everything that you do, and this is a great launch point into off season. It propels you going forward, and the guys that have been young or inexperienced players that can finish with a positive experience, it helps a great deal going to the locker room and going to the weight room and going into spring football.
How do you replace or kind of fill those spots for James and Jair that now that they're not playing, and other guys obviously have stepped up all year? Those other guys you got to call on, right?
This is football. It's the next man up, and that's probably one of the worst cliches that we hear. But it's one of those that you're always in development. You're always getting people prepared, and sometimes they get the opportunities to play, and sometimes you can go all year not getting an opportunity. But those guys will get their opportunities, and we expect them to go out and perform.
What was your reaction to Jair and James deciding to risk it?
That's college football right now, and I want to be supportive of the players that we have, and if they feel that's in their best interest, then I wish them nothing but success, and hopefully they achieve all the things that they think this decision will help them achieve.
Is that something you're trying to be mindful of when putting your preparation together for this game? Is it it's the possibilities there, or how tough is it? Are you on the fly a little bit?
It's a challenge. It's a challenge when when you kind of get the news. Obviously, you'd rather have it earlier in the bowl preparation than later.
What do you expect to see from Mississippi State?
I think they're gonna be extremely physical. They got great size in the offensive line. They got great size, the perimeter. The receivers are going to be big and tall. The tight end's going to be a physical player. They'll do a good job of designing, the ball to get the quarterback some one-on-ones, and they'll be able to throw the ball up and try to win some one-on-one matchups with the ball in the air.
What about the quarterback?
Keaton's a very, very talented player. You know, when I was there last year when we were recruiting him, we thought he was a special player. And, you know, it's his opportunity to come in. He's inexperienced, but he's got a lot of talent. We got a lot of respect for him.
How about
Guys, we got to get the
defensive?
players in here.
How about